It's going to be the more Nietzschean position that says the inequalities are natural and perhaps biologically driven. It's going to be the Marxist position that all inequalities are artificial and driven primarily by social circumstances and so on. The Nietzscheans then are going to say, you know, we have no problem with dramatic inequalities across every single dimension because it's going to be the high flyers. They're the ones who are going to advance the human species, whereas the Marxists want to level everything on the grounds that it's going to be through some sort of collectivity of equal human beings that we're going to advance the human species. So yes, for both of them, the most fundamental debate is this social power equality dimension, right? And so that makes them both in going much more, I think, in the postmodern direction. By contrast, the position I'm much more sympathetic, and neither Marxist, right, nor Nietzschean, is that equality is an important concept, but it's an equality at a slightly abstract level. Right? We are all equally human beings in the sense that we have our own lives, we have our own cognitive capacities, and the important thing is that each of us is free to develop our own capacities to our fullest extent, and that socially we need to be left free in order to be able to do so.
And you can see the temptation from a Marxist line of thinking if everything is due to social inequality and it's socially constructed, then presumably it can all be reconstructed. I think that's a possibility, whereas the Nietzsche perspective would be, no, some of these things are built in.
Absolutely. So another very fundamental issue, and we've touched briefly on it, but I think it's worth stressing at this point, is who is going to be doing this restructuring? So we all say there's problems in the world, and you might be more pessimistic or more optimistic. So there's problems in the world, and we want to fix those problems. Well, then the question is, who is going to do the fixing? And what you do get out of Marxism is the idea that it has to be some sort of powerful group, the vanguard, right, of the proletariat, who takes it and uses basically all of society's resources in order to change it. And the Nietzscheans are also going to argue that whatever improvements, they're going to come from certain special individuals. And both of them are contrasted to the position that says it's the individual, all of us, who have agency in our own lives. And if you want to change your circumstance, fundamentally it is up to you to develop your individual capacities in order to change the world in the way you want to go. And what's very important here is how both the Nietzscheans and the Marxists even more so, and then their second, third generation inheritors now, who deny individual agency fundamentally. Right? They will say, this is the birth of victimhood culture, right? So, I mean, the victim is the person who is the ultimate lack of agency, right? I am who I am because I've been pushed around by all of these social forces beyond my control. I have no agency, and anything that's nasty in my life is somebody else's fault. And anytime we say, well, maybe you could do something about it, right? Or maybe you are in part to blame for your circumstance right now. That is just swept off the table. You're blaming the victim, or you're doing some other kind of sin from that particular lexicon. So this issue really does come down to that old, again, philosophical debate about volition or free will versus some sort of determinism. And another important part of this is that the Marxists and the cultural Marxists and the neo-Marxists and the postmodernists and so on, all of them do advocate very strongly forms of determinism that says that really the human being is just a lump of plasticine born into a world shaped by social forces and other environmental forces beyond his control. And all you can really do if you have any measure of agency is just decide to accept where you are and then commit yourself in a non-rational way to advancing that set of interests. But of course, everybody else is doing the same sort of thing. It really does become a power struggle.